Listen to this episode if you are looking to improve your marketing today. Today, we're going to be talking about a major marketing mistake that people make, and I see every single day, that is costing you thousands in product sales online. Today, we're going to be speaking to the product-based business owners. We're talking to the people showing up on social media consistently, but they're really feeling like they're blending in. Things just aren't gaining traction, feeling like social media is getting increasingly hard. And those that are feeling like they're really just like in this incredibly saturated industry and they just don't know how to break free. You're showing up, you feel like you're doing all of the things, and at the end of the day, it just feels like none of it is actually worth it. That is what we're talking about today. Of course, no matter where you are in your product-based world, this episode is going to be helpful for you. We're going to be talking about just major marketing principles that people often miss. One major problem that I see people doing constantly that's making your audience bored, making your content kind of weak, and it's just really not allowing people to fully connect with you and your brand. Before we dive into exactly what that is, I just want to give a quick warm welcome to anybody that may be new here for about 10 seconds. Hello, my name is Madison Page. I am a business growth specialist, and I love to teach you how to build a ride or die community around your brand online. Today, I am battling a little bit of spring allergies, and so if I feel like, if it sounds like I have a little bit of like a sexy rasp going on, that's not normally my voice, but we're dealing with it today, and so that is how it's going to be. I apologize in advance, but maybe we're just going to go with this sexy little rasp for a couple of days, a couple of episodes, because I am filming a couple of them today, but the show must go on, people. So we are going to dive in to this major marketing mistake. If you're new here, I like to teach in a fun conversational type of way. I like to say it's kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie. That is what we're doing around here. We are just sitting down, sharing raw and real and genuine business growth advice. So the major thing that you may be missing is you're selling the features of your product, not the benefits of the story and the experience that your customers will have. We're going to talk about examples with this. We're going to talk about how to really switch it and why this actually is so important. People need to know your features, and your features are things like being all natural. They need to know that it's handmade or organic or low sugar or whatever those little, like, the badges of honor that people are wearing on their chest for their business. These features can be important for sure, but it's not actually why people buy. Sometimes it's the reason that they qualify their purchase. So if you know me, you know that I am a little bit of an all natural gal. And so a lot of my skincare products, a lot of my food, a lot of the supplements I take, all of it is very natural, very wellnessy. And I am somebody that looks for like the all natural badge on products just to see if it's there, but that is qualifying my purchase. That doesn't mean that just because it has that all natural name on it that I'm all of a sudden going to buy. I am buying that product because I feel like I'm making a better choice for my family. I feel like I'm making a better choice for myself. I feel like I'm making a better choice for my health. It's going to make me feel like this all natural wellnessy queen that I am when I purchase that product. However, just because it says all natural on it does not mean that I am going to naturally buy it. They still have to evoke that emotion in me. Really, the main thing is that people buy based on how you make them feel. And because some of these buzzwords have become just that, a buzzword, they are honestly so saturated out there that people are no longer utilizing that as your major differentiator. You can't use your all natural candles saying that your candles are all natural and have that be your only selling point of your brand. Your features are not your selling point. You still need to have messaging and a differentiator and positioning and really strong marketing alongside of it to actually share what this product is all about, to actually get people to really understand how they're going to feel when they utilize it. So when we're looking at this idea, I see this all the time. I can look at your social media and within like 6 seconds, I can see if you do this because it's plastered everywhere. All you're talking about is that you are an all natural skincare brand, or that your products are organic, or that they have low sugar, or even if they're handmade, or that they're made of 100% cotton. Like, nobody really cares, right? Like, yeah, they care for sure, but that isn't what is actually going to get you to the end game. That is not what is going to actually evoke emotion in people. It might be a check on some people's list. We need it kind of on the homepage and a couple of little badges. We need it in maybe our bio, maybe, or a pinned post, just to tell people that that is a value that your brand has. If there's somebody like me, that we all kind of have these qualifying factors. Some people try to support different types of businesses. Some people try to support, women owned businesses or Black owned businesses. If that is something that is going to all of a sudden be able to make them want to buy, it's a feature of your brand, but it can't be your only selling point. And that really comes down to people are still buying based on the feeling that they feel because of that thing, because it's all natural, because it's women owned, whatever that might be for your brand. Now, this goes for any industry. I'm going to give some examples just so we can see it in a couple of different industries, and then we're going to dive in to really what are the three major factors of how you can actually do this. You know that I don't like to gatekeep here. I do want to share all of the different marketing knowledge, and so I'm going to give you, of course, some actionable changes for you to make. First things first, let's talk about one that everybody knows. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup craze has been an absolute insane whole marketing case study. I have a full podcast episode on it, how they really changed their marketing and why it really blew up. But let me really break this down for you. When you maybe have a Stanley, or when just thinking about somebody buying a Stanley, people aren't buying that Stanley Cup because it's a double-walled stainless steel, they're stainless steel, double-walled, insulated. They fit in your cup holder. Those are like cherries on top. Those are like the sprinkles for people. Sure, it's great that it keeps my water cold all day, but people are buying it because of the status that they feel when they have a Stanley. They're buying it because of the symbol that it makes within their life, that it's the commitment to the hydration, to all of the different colors, how the expression of the colors or the pattern really feels for them. It's the convenience, it's the aesthetic, it's the cool girl energy that they feel when they are carrying around that Stanley Cup. Yeah, of course, it's double-walled, insulated, but they could be whatever they wanted it to be. That was not why people were buying. People weren't buying because it keeps your water cold for 24 hours and, it keeps it hot for 12. They were buying because of who the brand is and the real message that they shared while really selling it, that it was like this cool girl water bottle, that it's the commitment to the hydration, that you can bring it with you anywhere and everywhere, and it was cute, and that you needed to be carrying one to really have that status symbol. It's kind of like an adjective, or it's like Kleenex. Like, yeah, Kleenex is a brand, but now Stanleys are like the any cup that people are carrying around with you. That tells you they have a really strong brand and they had really strong messaging around how they were selling that product. Let's talk about Apple. Let's talk about the iPhone. They don't market it strictly because of the 18 megapixel camera and the 4K video and the A17 chip and how quick it is and all of the apps that it can have and the memory that it has on it. Even though they say it, they're features, but that is not what is actually evoking emotion in order to get people to buy. They are creating this little nook in a nook, meaning, so much of the world that has an iPhone. It's kind of like that status symbol. It makes you feel cool. They're using messaging like capture every moment in stunning detail, or your memories brought to life. They share videos that are could almost shed a tear watching it, of people taking videos of their baby's first step. And when kids go off to college, they're going back and looking at that video and saying that you can capture everything you need in the palm of your hand. But of course, it does have this 12 megapixel camera and all of that. Again, they're qualifying features of the product that people can kind of look at. But the reason they feel drawn to Apple is the status that it has, the luxury feeling you feel when you purchase it, the almost like cult-like following that they have built, that if you don't have the blue bubble in the text messages, that you are not cool, you don't have X, Y, and Z, even though a lot of the Android cameras are better. A lot of the Android cameras cameras actually produce a better product, Apple still tries to differentiate on that because they are better at marketing that feeling, marketing that experience. That is why Apple remains, at least in the US, like by far and wide, the most popular smartphone that people are buying. Yeah, there's a lot of people with Google or Android phones, but people continue to buy Apple, even though you hear people say it all the time. I kind of hate the brand Apple, but I love the product. They've made it so simple. They've made it so convenient. I need to be a part of it. Otherwise, I feel like an outsider. Like I'm not going to be the one with the green bubbles in the text messages throwing off every group chat. That's because that is what they have sold. They have sold that inclusivity, the exclusivity, and the feeling it is to own an Apple device, that warmth, that luxury, the effortless, high quality memories, effortless kind of companion between the iPad and the laptop and all the things. They aren't selling that. Yeah, they might say it that they have that 4K video and they have the megapixels and they have the gigabytes, but that isn't what is making people naturally drawn to the brand. You first get naturally drawn to the brand by the feeling they're creating, the message they're portraying, and how it would make you feel to own it. And then they tell you, oh yeah, if you have any qualifying features, these are all of the features that are in it. That's why they have those like graphs on their website for anybody that really cares about the features. But there's plenty of people out there that do not care about the features. They just want, I know I don't really care at all about what features my next iPhone is. I know I'm buying an iPhone next. I don't care what features the Mac laptop has. I know I'm buying a Mac laptop because the use of the product is so great, but I also it's just the feeling of the brand of having that Mac. The next one is let's talk about Lululemon. There are a million athleisure brands out there, or athletic wear brands out there at this point. There are big and small. There are Aloe and Set and Form and Vitality and so many big and small brands that are trying to become the next kind of Lululemon, where it's like that natural household name. However, Lululemon isn't selling the actual fabric makeup of their leggings. They aren't selling that they're buttery soft, sweat wicking. They're selling the feeling of owning Lululemon. That's why their ideal customer is the person that wants to wear Lululemon on the average day, not really working out, but their marketing is to the people that are, running marathons. Their marketing is about these like people that are doing really intense workouts and things like that, because they want you to feel unstoppable when you put those leggings on. They want you to feel their messaging that is feel unstoppable in the leggings that move with you, whether you're on the mat or on the go. They want you to feel unstoppable. They're talking about how they're the best on the go. You can wear them across the board. When you put those things on, you are stepping into feeling unstoppable. You're not buying the leggings because they are 80% cotton or rayon or polyester or whatever those incredible Align leggings are. They are buttery soft, 100%, but they're not selling the makeup of those, that they are elastic and that they are polyester that helps you sweat wick and do all of these other things, whatever they are. They're buying the confidence, the performance, and the lifestyle that it feels to own Lululemon, and this like active, put together Pilates princess style gal. There's a lot of brands that have moved into marketing to this like Pilates princess wellnessy type of cool, clean girl aesthetic, because that is the desired self-image of a lot of people. So all of their marketing is around going to Pilates and having matcha lattes and wearing the big AirPod Maxes on your ears. And basically what they're doing is they're saying, if you want to live this lifestyle, wear our clothes. And so they're selling the feeling of being that Pilates princess, even if a lot of people, it is an unattainable actual lifestyle. Maybe you live that on a Saturday and a Sunday, but for the normal person, that is not something that we can just like the average person can attain. However, they're still marketing to it because the feeling that it has. This comes down to three major factors in your marketing: to switch from selling features to selling benefits, to selling your product to selling your brand. And I know I talk about this all the time. You hear me if you listen to my podcast, if you follow me on Instagram, I say this all the time. A lot of people are out here saying, look at how cute my product is, go and buy it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You can no longer say, look at how cute my product is, go and buy it. You can't say this product has soy wax in it, go and buy it. You can't say that my skincare is all natural, go and buy it. It needs to be all natural, and you need to have soy wax. And what's the message? You need to have like 100% organic milled cotton, and it's going to do this for their lifestyle. You cannot stop at those features because nobody gives a shit about those features. Yeah, sure, it might be at the bottom half of the buying cycle. That is not what is going to actually magnetize people to you. So you're marketing to the things that really only needs to be on your product descriptions. You're marketing at the top end to try to create the interest, to create the desire, when you are trying to just like sell to people the final questions that they may have inside of their head. Again, it might be a qualifying factor, but it can't be the entire story. It's just like saying that you're going to read a fantasy book. Okay. And it's about what? Who are we talking about? Are we talking dragons? Are we talking like wizards? Are we talking like which type of fantasy are we talking about? You need to narrow within your full genre. Sure. Okay. You have skincare. Great. You are all natural skincare. Great. And now what is the story? What is the feeling? What is the experience going to be? And it can't be the exact same of every single one inside of your industry. We are far and well beyond having all natural, organic, like some of these features of things, like the actual features being the selling point of your product, because people are emotional shoppers. Women who do 80% of the shopping for a household are emotional shoppers. We all know it. You walk through Target with your little cart with your Starbucks in your hand or whatever drink you're drinking in your hand, walking through the aisles, and you're not logically saying, oh, this Maybelline mascara is said to add 3 times length. That's awesome. That's not why you're picking that mascara. You're picking it because of the image that's there. You're picking it because of the voluminous rocket level, all of that the image that they are portraying. You're not choosing to shop, shopping a high-end luxury brand. You're not choosing to shop K18 because of like the actual molecules that's in it. You might know, oh, I really need ceramides in my skincare. I really need vitamin C in my skincare, for sure. You might know those ingredients. And now more than ever, people do know ingredients and things like that just because there's so much information at our fingertips. But that is still not why they are buying. Again, they go to your brand and they say, okay, this product has ceramides. This product has the ingredient I want. Great. Qualifying. How does this product make me feel? Because there's another 50 products on the market that also have that exact ingredient in it that you're looking for. They aren't buying because you're the only product on the market that has that. They are buying because you're the only brand on the market that makes them feel this way. So you have to be the same. There are so many of you that come to me and you are in incredibly saturated industries. You're in industries that have millions and millions of brands, whether you're making soap, whether you're making candles, whether you have a clothing line, whether you have skincare, whether you have whatever it is, there is probably at least 1,000 alternatives to your product. Unless you are somebody that has literally taken a product and are inventing something that you are the first of the kind, this might be a little different of a story. But for 99% of the businesses that I come in contact with, which is hundreds a week, you cannot sell just on your features. You have to sell based on your story. You cannot sell your products. You have to sell your brand. You have to create a brand, a message, a feeling that when people come in contact with your brand, this is what they are associating with it. A lot of times I ask people when they're joining any program or I'm working with them and I say, what is the adjectives you want people to feel? And they say, well, happy and welcoming and empowered. And those things are great, but there's like no brand out there that doesn't want you to feel welcome, empowered, or happy. We're trying to go more. We want to feel groovy. We want to feel like we're making good decisions for our family. We want to feel like we are stepping into the next level of ourselves. We want to feel like we are doing something revolutionary with this product. We want to feel, and this can be a million different ways. Everybody has a different feeling. I think if you look at Sephora, it's a great way to think about this. Looking at all of those brands, there is like a million dang products at Sephora, okay? And a lot of them are nearly exactly the same at the like composition of it. We look at it, okay, we got lip gloss, we got lip stick, we got mascara, we got eyeshadow, we got foundation. Every single line of makeup, every single makeup line has the same 10 to 12 different products, right? And we look at it, and why are you drawn to Rare Beauty over Ilia? Why are you drawn to Benefit over some of like the ordinary skincare? Why are you drawn to wanting K18 over Way, or however you say that brand? It's because of how that brand makes you feel, the status you feel when you buy it, or what it is actually going to, the story that you are able to tell. This hair mask is going to give me the most luxurious locks for my wedding. I don't care what ingredients are in it. I don't really care what's going on inside of it. I want to know I'm going to have the most luxurious line of like luxurious hair for my wedding in October. That's why I'm buying a hair mask right now. I am not buying it because of, it has this and it has that and it's natural, it's that. I do buy mostly natural products. However, again, it's like, okay, great, this is natural, and now I can pick between the 10 different natural brands that make me feel a certain way. There's a lot of brands out there that are actually more natural or more conscious than we even know. Like, Tower 28 or Kosas are said to be cleaner beauty brands. However, I still buy mostly Ilia products because they have really made me feel like it is this like clean luxury brand that I really connect to. So we need to do this for you as well. I just went on like a total tangent after I said that we were going to do 3 major factors. 3 major factors. First things first is branding and aesthetics. You must build brand that communicates the message that you are trying to convey. And that can be, you can have bold and like beautiful and groovy kind of playful fonts and colors, or you can have very clean and very minimalist branding that make you feel a little more organic. Again, for me, I gravitate towards clean minimalist brands because that in my mind reinstates that fact of like the clean natural beauty. However, like Kosas or like Tower 28, they have very bold, bright colors. People that might gravitate more towards that also like the clean products and the brand that it's really the message that it's really conveying. Chanel can sell a bag that you can probably buy a dupe for at least 10% or 90% of that cost, like 10%. Let's talk about $5,000 to like literally just like a $50 bag or whatever that is. And we want to look at this and say, why can people, so like 10%, and say even a $500 bag, like you can buy a Chanel dupe for much less than $500. You can buy a Chanel dupe for $50 on Amazon right now. It just won't have that Chanel emblem on it. It's the same thing, has the same kind of, it gives off the same vibe. It has the same style, has the same features. It's leather. It has a metal clasp. It has a magnet. It's got a pouch inside, pretty much the exact same thing. However, people still choose to buy Chanel because of the status of the Chanel logo, because of the status and how it feels when they put that Chanel bag on and they're walking outside. Some people, like myself, I don't really ever see myself buying a Chanel bag. I'm just not somebody that values that story that they are telling. $300 on a red light therapy machine because of the story that they are sharing. Very different industries, but similar, where like everybody is placing their money into different buckets because of where they are. I'm a dupe gal, all right? Like I'm going to go out and buy the dupes. However, I have my brands that I am going to stand on brand because I love how that brand makes me feel when I put on those yoga pants, when I put on those leggings, when I put on that whitewater kayaking gear, that it has to be brand name because I feel that the performance is better. I feel that I am getting more out of that purchase. So everybody chooses to splurge in the areas that make sense for them because that brand signifies something else for them. And so if you are trying to get people to spend money with you, you have to build a brand that is visually attractive and visually going to attract your ideal customers. The better brand visually will almost always win. And I know you know somebody out there right now that is selling your product that kind of sucks. The product isn't even great. It's not going to last you, but people consistently buy it. Why? Because of the brand, their marketing, and the story that it tells of how people feel when they buy it. I know there are plenty of products out there that right now you are buying. I know that I have 1,000 products in my house that are not the top of the line best product on the market, just because I bought that one because I like how I feel when I purchase it. First things first with that is branding, is the visuals that it has. What is that? Again, that ideal self-image that you are trying to convey with this product, and where are you naturally drawn to? So you have to think about your ideal customers. What are they going to be naturally drawn to? What message are you trying to share? How do you really want to communicate with them? Next, let's talk about positioning and a differentiator. Your features cannot be your differentiator. Again, you aren't differentiating on being an all-natural skincare brand. When people come into my world, into one of my programs, I send them a questionnaire, and one of the questions is, what makes your product different? And I hear it all the time. Oh, it's handmade. Oh, I make all natural candles, or oh, it's this, oh, it's that. And it all revolves around the features. That is not what makes your brand different than everybody else within your industry. Because again, if you make all natural skincare, there's a million other all natural skincare creators out there. So why are they choosing you? That's your differentiator. That's your positioning within your industry. You have to do that. Features are not a differentiator, because anything out there right now, unless you are inventing a monumental, like absolutely groundbreaking idea, there's probably something out there that is just like yours on the market. You have to choose to market it a little bit differently. Even when people are like marketing an acne safe makeup brand, I've seen this a lot on TikTok. There's a few of them popping up. There's a lot of those out there. Again, it's qualifying. People are saying, oh, this is acne safe. That's great. This is for me. I have acne issues. I need an acne safe makeup brand. Great. Let me go and look at this brand. And the reason that people might not immediately feel connected to it is because they don't have another differentiator. They aren't positioning themselves differently than all of these other acne safe brands. You can get people to buy once just because you say you're acne safe, but to get somebody to be a ride or die community member, a loyal customer coming back time and time again, following you, raving about you to all of their friends, they have to feel so connected to your brand based on your differentiator or your positioning. Last but not least is the messaging and the content that you're putting out around it. You need depth in your content. There is no depth and no interest in saying that my cup is double walled and it's stainless steel. Everyone's like, like a nice little yawn sounds great. Like that doesn't like, I don't really care if it's double walled. That's awesome. Or like, I'm going to use 7 different color sparkles on this one. Like that's awesome. But like nobody cares. They care about how are they going to feel when they're filling that cup up with whatever they're going to carry it to when they're going to their store, or their friend comes over, or just how they feel in their own house. I want you to think about your choice of makeup products or clothing, choosing it based on how you feel when you use it, when you buy it, that like little dopamine hit of like, ooh, this is going to make me feel this way. We are all really just buying products for our 12-year-old selves that felt so cool when they were opening up skincare. We are still that girl. We are still that girl every time that we buy a product, that we feel a certain way when we choose that brand, when we choose that product. Now, again, this is to have a ride or die loyal following. Again, I'm somebody that I am a dupe gal. So I wear dupes in a lot of different things. This shirt I have on right now is a Skims dupe. I got it on Amazon. I'm a dupe type of gal because there's a lot of things that I don't really care. But when I find a brand that creates something that I love, you better believe I'm never going anywhere else. I have leggings, these leggings that I've I wore Lululemon for a while just because it was like, what everybody was doing. I tried them all on Amazon, but I never really connected to a brand. I tried Vitality leggings, which is a small business that was started by an influencer, and I love them. I love how they make me feel. I love their marketing. I love the influencer. I've followed her for a long time, and I will probably never buy any other activewear other than that brand. Or maybe I find another one that feels really connective. I've really wanted to try Form activewear. I would try that because I listened to her podcast. I felt very connected to the founder. I love the story she had, and I love the brand that she creates. And I love when I put that product on, how it's going to make me feel. It doesn't matter what features they have. It doesn't matter what they're made up of. I am choosing those brands based on how I feel when I put those leggings on. And that is how a lot of people are choosing to shop. If you especially are going to be a premium product, if you especially want to be more of like a luxury product within your marketing, you have to master this. Again, Chanel, again, Louis Vuitton, they did not master the type of leather that's on the purse. Nobody cares about the leather. I have like a $200 Coach purse over there that I wear on fancy nights out, which is like once a month. And I didn't buy it I bought it because I wanted one that like made me feel good, like I was put together and really like on it. And this was $200 over the Chanel one. Everybody makes different decisions in their life on the price that they're spending, on the brand that they're choosing based on how they feel. I would not even feel right about myself walking around with a $5,000 Chanel bag. That just doesn't feel like me. It's not something that I would really, it's not something I value. It wouldn't feel like me. So I don't buy Chanel. Do I have the possibility to? Yeah, I could if I wanted to, but it's not something that I value enough. But I have $10,000 in kayaking gear. I have, I bought a bus because I love how it makes me feel when I live in the bus. Do I have to live in a bus? No, but I'm choosing to do that. We make choices based on how we feel around it. It's the same in marketing. People are buying from you based on how you make them feel. From your brand, from the messaging that you have, from the visuals that you have, and from the overall message that you are communicating with them. You do this through visuals, you do this through a differentiator, and you do this through messaging. What sets you apart from everybody else? How are you actually communicating that message? Features are not a selling point for 99% of industries. You might invent a product that has never been seen before, and you're like, wow, yeah, I literally can tell you, I am selling you this based on the actual use of the product because nobody else has it out there. That is not how candles or clothing or any of these products that have a very saturated industries goes. They can be shown, but they cannot be the major selling point. Let's talk about a car. If you go into a car, you go to a test drive, what is the first thing that they tell you? First things first is if you are at a Mercedes, you are going to hear about the prestige. You are going to get probably like some champagne. You are going to get like more of the luxury experience with that brand because that is what they're selling. If you're buying a Mercedes, people don't really care about the miles per gallon. They're not talking about the horsepower or the engine specs. Yeah, again, for some people that are really into cars, that stuff might matter. For the average person, they just want the Mercedes. You hear people say this, I've always wanted to drive a Mercedes. I've always wanted to drive a Corvette. I've always wanted to drive, a G-Wagon, whatever. They don't want that G-Wagon because it gets you 12 miles to the gallon. Like, that's not a selling point. That's not why people are buying it. They're buying it because they want to feel like themselves driving that G-Wagon. They want to know that like status, the feeling that they have. And I don't say status in a bad way, that people are buying things for status. I say that just because we all feel different levels of status when we purchase something. They want to feel what it feels like to drive that Mercedes, that G-Wagon. They want the feeling of prestige. They'll talk about the smooth, effortless drive. Maybe they'll talk about the like sound densening in there. They'll talk about the status of owning one, like welcome to the Mercedes family. Like once you go Mercedes, you never go back. All of that. Your product is the car. Your product is that car, but what you're selling is the experience, is the feeling, is how that is going to feel to drive that car. Now, again, if we go on brand, for me, I'm a practical gal. I've already established this. I go to Honda dealers. I have drove a Honda since the day I started driving. And I don't go to Honda for, I don't even know what horsepower my car is. I don't know what engine is in my car, and I'm a car gal, all right? Like, I know those things, and I don't even know but I wanted an SUV that had four-wheel drive that I could take on back roads when we're driving all throughout national forests, and I wanted something that got good gas mileage. Sure, those were things that I cared about, but my car doesn't get that great of gas mileage. I bought it because of the longevity that it made me feel. I had a Honda Odyssey minivan as my first car, and it had 380,000 miles on it when I sold it. I bought another Honda. I drive a CRV because it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like it has the little sporty edge that I like to it, but it also makes me feel like I'm making a reliable, logical solution. If I had a $70,000 car, if I had a G-Wagon, I could have it if I wanted to, but it is not somebody that I am. It's not the story. It's not the feeling that I'm looking for. I'm looking for reliable. I'm looking for longevity. I'm looking for, sure, I liked the sportiness of it. I liked that it wasn't a teeny tiny little tin can. I liked that I could do some other things with it. However, I bought this car because of the feeling that even a Honda gives you. Is it a different feeling than what I would get if I went to a Mercedes? 100%. Is the luxury side of having a Mercedes incredible? Yeah, but again, it doesn't feel like me. So this is why it's so important to know your ideal customer, know what they're actually looking for, and what messaging you can provide. And that was exactly what the salesperson did. He's like, yeah, this car will get you to 250, 300,000 miles easily if you stay up to date with your maintenance. They have very little issues. These are the common little things that you might need to have with it. But he knew that is what I was looking for when they asked. I wasn't looking for like the most luxury car. They wouldn't have sold me a CRV if I was. They would have gone, hey, go over to this store, go over to that other place. And so you need to look with your product. What is the message that you are providing? Honda talks about being reliable. Mercedes talks about being luxury and effortless and smooth. Those are selling the same product. They get you from A to B. They have probably very similar features where they have the same engines, they have the same horsepower, they have the same tires, like they have the same paint colors, like all of those things don't matter. They're selling the feeling of sitting in that car because that is what they are selling when they're coming to it. They're the same product, but they have different brands, different messaging, different visuals, and different customer experiences to go along with it. If you want to have marketing that makes you effortless sales, you have to master this point. You have to master the messaging. You have to master how to create brand around your marketing. You need to understand how to step away from selling a product and actually sell a brand. You need to step away from selling the features and actually sell the experience and the feeling, because the emotional side of purchases is why people buy. People aren't buying for the logical. There are some people that need logic as a checkpoint. They need logic as like, okay, yes, that makes sense. However, the first initial drive to it is for emotion. 90% of people are emotional shoppers. 90% of people are visually motivated. We need to attract these higher, like these ride or die customers by really taking time with the messaging that we have, adding more depth to it, and actually creating brand around your product. Now, I know that this is like a really in-depth conversation, which is why I wanted to infuse a lot of different examples and different types of brands in here. If you want to continue this conversation, please join the Small Business Cafe. There's a link in the show notes. Otherwise, you can DM me on Instagram, just say cafe, and I'll shoot you the link. But we are going to join inside of our free community and really talk about this and really expand on it. And I want to provide some more support here for you. If you're like, Maddie, I have no idea how to do this, I want to answer your questions in there. So please join the Small Business Cafe. I would love to see you there. I hope this was helpful for you. I know so many of you guys are listening every single week, yet you don't follow the show. It helps me so much. It helps you not have to go search for it. Make sure that you hit that follow button, the subscribe button, wherever you listen. It helps me. It helps other people get this podcast out to other people as well. And it helps you not have to go searching for it every Tuesday and Friday. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this style of marketing and this style of help and this style of like real business advice, please follow along, stick around. I love having you here and I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner always. I will chat with you in the Small Business Cafe.